r/AskReddit. If Reddit existed in 1922, what sort of questions would be asked on here? TBH, seeing how Reddit is now, imagine how bad it'd be back when racism wasn't even considered bad. Was the Lusitania carrying contraband arms to Great Britain? Was its sinking worth going to war and getting our sons killed over? Are we compete suckers for obvious government flim-flam? Serious. Why are you so against the Klan? Victim baiting. People who are for the legalization of alcohol. Why? Is 11 years old too late to start working the coal mines? I fear I'm being too lenient on my 6 boys. Angus has consumption. How much cocaine will it take to cure him? If Reddit existed in 1822, what sort of questions would be asked on here? My 20M son, 8M, want find a job. How do I tell him to get his lazy ass off the couch and go to work? Should I let my wife vote? Aida? My family says I'm selfish for quitting my job at the coal mine so I can focus on my 3rd grade studies. Why do people believe the Titanic hit an iceberg and sank? Where's the proof? Where's the iceberg with ship damage to it? Quote. Am I the rascal? My wife left her suffragette pamphlet where our daughter of 9 years could find. Of course I took hold of it and saw to its immediate disposal. I'm happy to allow my wife whatever reading materials she likes as she's a very spirited debate partner. But I can't have our daughter reading such things. Not at 9. I had thought my wife would see sense and apologize for being so careless, but instead she's cut me off completely. It's been 2 days and still she refuses to even look at me, so I ask you, my good fellows, was I the rascal? Did we ever find out where Cotton Eye Joe came from? Guten Tag. Reddit. Ich bin Adolf Hitler und Word wegen Landfriedensbruch zu 3 Monaten Gefängnis verurteilt. Aber schon nach 30 Tagen aus der Haft entlassen. Frat mich alles. Flappers of Reddit. What does it mean that it ain't got that swing? Will I be the if I tell Susan to stop coming to the church because she's a Towns WH0 Hacks to get alcohol? Prohibition era. Why does my D*CK itch? What's your favorite moonshine recipe? My sawdust bread doesn't rise. What is the best sawdust bread recipe? My kids don't go outside anymore. They just stay in and listen to the new radio. What's a mother to do? Which brand of cigarettes is best for pregnant wife? People of Reddit, is everyone having a bully day? Was the Titanic sinking an inside job? Married couples who don't have more than 8 children. Why? Teapot Dome scandal. Joseph Stalin. Civil wars. This is the end of humanity. We are all doomed. All Redditors with diabetes. Will you be taking that new insulin thing? Why? Why not? Russian Redditors who dislike Joseph Stalin. What's your home address? My son is attracted to other men. Should I call the police? Just seen a doll's house. What's with all the liberal propaganda nowadays? Is humanity doomed? Aida for considering breaking off my engagement to my fiancé? Dear Reddit, I, F23, have been courted by my fiancé, Fred, M28, for 7 years. We met when he was on a brief leave prior to being sent to the front. And we maintained a correspondence until the Allied victory. Of course I found him very brave and dashing, however. Since he has returned, I have noticed that he seems rather jumpy. And his mother has mentioned in confidence that he has been waking in the night and letting out terrible screams. I am worried that if we were to marry, he wouldn't be able to provide as a husband should. And I have read some terrible accounts of how shell shock can affect a man. Aida? Black people of Reddit, why? NSFW, yesterday I hugged a girl, will she get pregnant? I voted even though I know my husband is uncomfortable with me voting. Aida? Does anyone else notice how women have too many rights these days? I'm afraid to hit my own wife now. How many cigarettes should I be smoking a day to not want to hit my kids? Why did they built the Titanic that way? People who wanted to poison themselves, this experimental thing called insulin. Why? How do I keep my clan robes white and wrinkle-free? How stupid would humans have to be to start a second world war? More of the same sexually frustrated questions we get now. I doffed my cap to a lady and offered my elbow to escort her outside the tavern. But she refused to lie back and think of England. I am such a nice gentleman. I wear neckerchiefs. I stop after 6 pints of ale and rarely beat women when they have made my supper incorrectly. Why won't these whores let me treat them as upper middle class gentlewomen? Asking for a friend, if one wanted to find a speakeasy, where would that be? Our futurology and our technology would be talking about all of these miracle cures that are only a few years away. But then they would actually come true. Why do members of my family keep dying from dysentery? No booze in months. If I put a piece of bread in a cup of grape juice, will it really turn to alcohol? How to best beat a gay out of my son? Our stocks would be popping off, hot stock tips guaranteed to make you rich within the next decade. Wife didn't do the dishes yesterday or today. Did I do something, or is she cheating on me with that damn milkman? Quote. All these new magazines are going to rot the young's brains. Which brands of shoe shine and hair pomade work best? Why do I love Coca-Cola so much? Does mustard gas taste like mustard? My son talked about his feelings. How do I let him know he's a Nancy boy? Are all the home runs Babe Ruth is hitting because of the lively ball ruining baseball? I caught my wife cheating on me. How do I burn her the quickest? Unpopular opinion. The new generation is forgetting how to make cheese 'cause it is in stores. In the future, fewer people will know how to make cheese. On our Out of the Loop. What is the Teapot Dome scandal? And how is this involved with President Harding's administration? Quote. Fairest madams of AskReddit, what is the sexiest sex you've ever sexed? My teenager won't stop masturbating. Is there a breakfast food that can prevent this? What do you guys think is in King Tutankhamun's tomb? Is it safe to use thorium toothpaste? Things like, what's your take on sterilizing people with criminal skull shapes? Will my wife's bicycle make her a lesbian? Gentlemen coming back from the war. Do you also hear bombs again too sometimes? Or is it just me? Germany. What do you buy with your million billion gazillion Reichsmark? U.S. Financial advice needed. Would you buy stocks with loans? France. What do you think about Germany stopping coal exports to us? Poland. Why is our government so unstable? Russia. Is Lenin fine? Britain. Why can't the Irish be British? Japan. What's your opinion on the naval treaty? Italy. Are you also hyped for Mussolini? Why? Yeah. I am a history nerd. What can I do? Sirs of Reddit, how did you get your title? 22F wearing trousers, Aida? When was the first time you had sex? What's your favorite position to have sex? And other frequently asked questions on here. People of all cultures have always been and will forever be horny. People who were in the Great War. How bad was it actually? And then a bunch of comments saying, not me, but my relative. Who do I call about the Italians that moved in next door? What's with all the discontent in Germany? Asterisk. In 1923. On the back of long-term https en.wikipedia.org/wiki/1922_in_Germany #internal_unrest. Unrest between Munich and Berlin by divergent political interests. A World War I veteran by the name of Adolf Hitler would lead a failed coup. https en.wikipedia.org/wiki/beer_hall_putsch. In Munich, resulting in worldwide attention and a ridiculously light prison sentence, which he would later manipulate to give rise to a national Nazi party. My cousin told me they put the virus in the aspirin. Is that true? Some PPL think 1922 was medieval times or something apparently. ELI 5. Why are all cars black? 15 male here. How do you cope with a midlife crisis? What age should I teach my kid to smoke? In India. What are the ways to get rid of the British rule from my country? My wife won't stop hooting and hollering no matter how much I hit her. How can I make this dumb broad stop yapping all the gosh darn time? What's your opinion on women wearing pants? I have coughed blood. Should I drink some laudanum or are there better things to do? Serious. People who recovered from the Spanish flu. What was it like? How did you survive the Spanish flu? Who lost a loved one in WW1? For years I have pined after the most divine lady to ever walk this planet, but yesterday I offered her a piece of cheese. And it did not fascinate her. What did I do wrong? Reddit. Where can I find work or food? What does NSFW stand for? Not suitable for womenfolk. Do you think fascism or communism is the future? Can people in radio hear you? How can an automobile travel faster than a horse? Is Henry Ford a scammer? Automobile for everyone sounds unbelievable at best. How to help disfigured people from Great War. Great War ended 4 years ago. We will have eternal peace in Europe now. I am so gay about it. My son, who fought in the Great War, refuses to accompany me on my hunting trips. And whence he does, he neglects to hold a rifle. In addition, he has consistent shakes and flinches at the slightest of startling noises. I am curious as to how I perhaps could thrash the cowardice out of him and make him the man he used to be? Please respond post haste. I would ask if some people in their 30s or older, if they ever met Civil War veterans. And I would ask if Civil War vets talked about Revolutionary War veterans. What is homosexuality and how can we cure it? My daughter, 17F, is friends with a Negro. I've tried shouting at her and hitting her. What else is there to do? Quote, Charlie Chaplin mustache maintenance? Aida for sending my 42F whore daughter, 11F, to a monastery in Spain for 10 years because she winked at the colored boy that works at the haberdashery? Fellas, what dames got the best gams? How do I get a swell gal to do the hanky-panky? Germans of Reddit, how are you getting by with the current hyperinflation crisis? What is your opinion on the fall of the Russian Empire and how do you feel about the new USSR in its place? Does sticking heroin up my butt cure polio? Guys, I failed to get in art school. Shall I look for a career in politics? An Austrian guy probably. This proposal to outlaw child labor is illegal and communist. How will we find enough workers if they ban kids from working? They will be lazy good-for-nothings adding nothing to the home. How am I supposed to run a company with only adult labor? I am already on the Magins. Are idiots in carriages. Will we have flying cars in 100 years? This salesman said that if I drank his mixture he would cure my TB, but it hasn't worked so far. What am I to do? Subscribe for more content.